What is up, mental patients? My name is Tormental, and I wanted to share with you 5 Overwatch original characters that I think don't suck. Better title pending. I'm sure that you've seen Overwatch characters that people have come up with across the web, mostly characters like that Rivet character that people have passed around. But the thing is, I wanted to do. I've seen, I've seen videos of people listing, like the most popular ones and stuff like that. I wanted to do a list of ones maybe you haven't heard of, plus ones that I think, just basically really, really fit with the Overwatch universe. I'm not too into OCs, I'm not too into that kind of stuff, but I really applaud creativity, when people have it, and I really like when somebody comes up with something that actually fits in with the universe. Something that makes sense, something that maybe adds a little bit to the table that, is actually a good idea that, might actually be fun in the game. So yeah, let's proceed. Number 5 on the list is this OC with no name. Yeah, we're starting out starting out kind of slow. The thing is, with this character doesn't actually have a name from what I've seen. There may be one in another post that I didn't find. Links will be in the descriptions to all of these characters and who made them, etc. I just think that this, above and beyond all else, looks like an Overwatch character. This really looks a lot like this person captured perfectly the idea of Overwatch's aesthetic and how it looks and its design, little design tweaks here and there. I think it's a compelling character to look at. I mean, you got this bald-headed lady. I don't know. Is she a monk? Does she just like to shave her head? I don't know. Obvious sword and shield motif. Another reason I picked this, above and beyond just the looks. I mean, there are plenty of them that look nice, but I picked this also because I like the sword and shield motif. The closest you'll get to this is Reinhardt with his big hammer and his gigantic shield, but this looks more like a what would you call it? I guess a more logical, a more real-world kind of setup with the, shield on one arm, sword in the other. I like the idea of a character who maybe has a bit of the swordplay of Genji and the protective power of, say, Diva or Reinhardt or something like that, but, to a lesser extent. Like, the ability to just have your shield up, just over yourself, and just, protect yourself, kind of is something that hasn't really been touched upon in Overwatch yet. I mean, there's shields that protect, like, everyone around you, shields that protect people behind you, shields you can project on to other people. I think it would be interesting to have a shield, and, maybe, there would have to be some drawback to it, like some alternative, like, either having it be on a timer, or have it be that you have a personal shield for yourself that you can use whenever with left shift or right click, but, maybe you get knockback from everything that hits it. Just things like that. I don't know. Some balance there for the ability to have a permanent shield. Up next, number 4. Needles. Okay. Name kind of, a little obvious. I think this character came out probably before Ana was introduced, because this character is basically a healer slash sniper, that shoots needles instead of darts, that can, take down an enemy's health or give health to an ally, which is pretty much Ana's thing. It also says that she has a dart that can cause slowdown in enemies. I guess like when Mei is freezing you, it would cause people to be slow when they're hit with it. But really what I like about this is I like the overall design. I think that the design is unique. The pointed feet, the needle hand, the things like that. Some things that may be a little bit edgy, like edgelord, but yet I think they really work on this character. I think this design works, regardless of what motivations there were behind anything. Like, oh, needles are scary, I'll put needles on the character. Even if that was the motivation, it still works. The interesting thing is, if you look at the note under the needle hand, it says, appears only in melee attack. So, in other words, the person's basically saying, the needle hand doesn't really do anything special, it's just the hand that you melee with. And I think that... could you imagine playing as this character in first person, and you melee somebody, and the way you do that is jabbing your hand into them? Like a serpent strike, like, Sha! and you just like jab the needles into them. I think it just overall works. I think it's interesting, unique, and regardless of whether or not it was meant to be super spoopy, I think it works. Number what are we on? 3? I don't know. Fuck it. Number 3, Dig Dug. Another name that is kind of lacking. We went from no name to obvious name to what the fuck name. Dig Dug, the name of a video game, so I don't think that would really be something that could be used. But I do like. Here's something about this one. Needles, the previous one, maybe didn't look too much like an Overwatch character, like, in terms of the themes of their cosmetic designs and everything. But this really adheres to the look of Overwatch characters. I mean, you got the fucking goggles. You got the, machine parts with the little lights and the little circles and the little things that don't really make any difference but look cool. And on top of it all, you've got the scarf or whatever the fuck it is, and you've got the overalls just thrown over it. Like, yeah, I got robot shit on, but I don't care. I'm going to wear some overalls. I really think this looks really like a very cool design. I like the idea of a character who can dig, too. I'm not sure if this is the intent of the creator, but I'm picturing this as a character who can, maybe use something like left shift, E, whatever, to go underground and maybe leave like a trail of some sort as they're going, like a molehill, like the little humps they leave on the ground, like a broken rock or whatever, as they go, toward the objective. I think that's a cool idea, to just be, protecting the objective, and all of a sudden you see a character digging in just underneath you, and you're like, oh fuck, quick, run and catch them as they come out the other side. Kind of like a stealthy kind of thing, but yet also, fair in that you can see it happening. I don't know, that's just my take on this character, but above and beyond my own made-up bullshit, I think it's a really cool-looking character. Number 2 on the list, and here's the thing. Before I get to number 2, I have to explain something. In looking up Overwatch OCs, I had to skip over a lot of furry art. A lot of things where it was like, he's a cat man who's also in Overwatch, or she's a bunny girl with a puffball on over her butt and she's in Overwatch. Where it was clearly like, okay, you're basically making furry art and calling it Overwatch characters, but whatever. Also, rather a lot of inflation fan art, which is it's just stuff you can't unsee. But anyway, I skipped over a lot of furry art, but in amongst everything I found this. Boom. Wolfizer, another terrible, terrible name. I don't consider this a furry character. I don't consider this a furry character because he's not anthropomorphic. He's not like a dog man, he's just a dog. I think this might be based on... I forget what game franchise it was where they were supposed to have a dog character that got axed, but I think this might be based on that. But here's the thing. I picture this character, personally, like about the size of Torbjorn in Overwatch. So, it wouldn't be like an unfair thing where his hitbox is really tiny or he's really small. I picture him like a big dog, like, the size of Torbjorn, nice and fair. And I just think it would be really cool to play the game as a character like this. And here are the abilities that I think are really cool, too. This is a healer character, okay? You're a dog, and you're a healer. Basically what he does is he poops out little health pellets. I mean, the health packs that you find around the map? Like when you're playing a round of Overwatch and you have to break off from the group to go find a health pack, in a corner or something. He poops those out anywhere he wants. So I think that's pretty cool. I think, it sort of is like an untapped idea that I haven't seen anybody do otherwise. Maybe somebody has out there and they're going to shake their fist at me and call me an asshole, but whatever. I like the idea of a character that can create the health packs that you find. And can just, like, maybe fill a room with them if you're on defense. Like, let's say you're defending Hanamura. And Wolfizer, this character, is just constantly pooping out health packs on the objective, however it takes for them to, reload. And, so you've just got constant health on the objective for people to run back and pick up if they need it. Wolfizer doesn't need to be there. He doesn't even need to be alive to heal everybody, because all he's doing is laying down the pellets for people. He has small automatic guns, I guess, that, would be like Mercy's pistols, I suppose. They probably wouldn't be that, effective or whatever, given that he's a healer and not made for outright damage. But the thing is, here, I don't know what other abilities he would have. Like an ultimate or, alternate abilities, etc. But I just... Okay, look at the outline. Look at the silhouette. Look at Soldier 76. And look at Wolfeiser. And tell me Dad doesn't need a dog. Okay. Number 1 on the list is... Boom, Chameleon. This character may have made their rounds, in some circles. You may have already seen them, but, I mean, it's the number 1 character for a reason. Look at this fucking design, and tell me that does not look like an Overwatch character. Look at the attention to detail. Look at the orange, the black, the white, the colors of Overwatch, accented with the fucking green robe, which just fucking works. It's just amazing. The cloak in the back curls into a spiral, like a chameleon's tail. The goggles around the character's neck look like chameleon eyes. They're like the going in different directions. You got the scale detailing on the legs. I mean, just the attention to detail is off the charts. It's fucking amazing. I think this is probably my favorite Overwatch character design I've seen so far of all the fan designs. That's why it's number 1 on the list. But also, another reason it's number 1 on the list, it's very thorough and it fucking tells you all the abilities of the character. The character's ultimate is Smokescreen, which creates a field of smoke that hides you and your allies from enemies' detection. So my guess is, like, let's say you're Chameleon. Let's say your ultimate has, fully charged. I would assume that this means when you press Q, it lets out a big, huge, stinking smoke cloud all around you, like an area of effect. And I would assume that it's much harder to see through for your enemies than it is for your team. So that means most likely that you could go into a full objective, lay down your smoke screen, and have your teammates picking off enemies as everybody's wandering around confused in a smoke cloud. I mean, I would assume, because it says hides you and your allies from enemies' detection. I don't know. It would seem like it would only make sense for your allies to be able to see through it better than your enemies can. But that just sounds cool to me, like a big confusing smoke cloud. That's an ultimate I could get behind. Left shift is camouflage, which makes you invisible for 10 seconds. It would need a very, very, very good cooldown, and maybe some sort of counter to it. Like, maybe you're invisible, but maybe it's like the Predator, where people can see, like, a vague outline. I don't know. Possibly a little OP. There's rumors that, I think Sombra, who's coming to the game soon, will have the ability to turn invisible, so I don't know. This may be, taken by that, but whatever. I like the idea. The mouse one is the laser gun, short-range automatic weapon, pretty basic. And Space, the passive, is sticky fingers, and you hold it to stick onto walls. Now, this is a bit different from Hanzo, who can climb walls and things like that. This says you stick to the wall. So my guess is you could jump from some high location, you could stick on a wall with the spacebar, and you could probably turn and shoot down at people. I would assume. That's just my assumption on this one. Sticking to the wall sounds interesting. I could see it being very useful. Like, let's say you're on defense, and what you do is you go in a room and you stick halfway up the wall, and then you just watch people come in the door, and then you shoot at them. I mean, they wouldn't think you were up there because they'd be looking at ledges, they'd be looking at the floor. They wouldn't be looking halfway up a bare wall for some crazy motherfucker up there shooting down. So yeah, Chameleon, number 1 character on my list. If you have a Overwatch character that you think is better, that deserves to be on a list like this, I might do another one, I don't know. It depends how much people complain about this. It depends if people say, "Oh my god, OC characters? What the fuck, Tormental? You're desperate for views. This is clickbait. I fucked your mother. Everything is..."